Hi everyone, this is one of the first videos that we're going to create as part of Loncom Consulting with our amazing partners, part of the Power Partnership Program. And today we're going to talk about the amazing partnership between Loncom Consulting and Stockley. And that's why I have Iain from Stockley. There you go, Iain. A little bit about yourself and Stockley in short, and what are you up to?
Thanks, Stefan. My name is Iain Coplans. I'm one of the founders and I'm the CEO of Stockley. We are warehouse management software with integrated order management and product information management. What does that actually mean? Yeah. Well, obviously warehouse management, managing day-to-day inventory, bid inventory management, very granular order trails across multiple locations. We talk a lot about the paperless warehouse, so building a solution around handhelds and making data real time, bringing teams collaborating together across the business, so just warehouse, customer services, those kind of things. Order management, so all your sales orders across all your channels, so that could be point of sale in a retail environment, point of sale in a depot, multi-channel e-commerce, so we plug into all the major players as well as just about anyone you could point a finger at. Telesales, so people taking orders in the office. Field sales teams taking orders over tablets in the field. And we operate right across B2B and B2C. And then we're a full product information management system, so we hold all the product data, all your custom data, metadata, tags, whatever it might be, and we'll map that data out to the individual channel. So we are one solution for retail and wholesale, from everything from sales, purchasing, managing your inventory day to day across multiple locations, buying and selling in multiple currencies, and across multiple channels.
Cool. That sounds amazing. I love one of the things, and there are many things that I really love about Stockley, is that you're like a one-stop solution, that you don't have to have all of these tabs enter and different solutions, but Stockley is really everything in one, as you just described.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, we talk a lot about simplifying your tech stack, having a single point of accountability. And that, I think, is an attractive concept for many businesses who perhaps over time have built up a tech stack composed of multiple apps, maybe different platforms that they've had to integrate themselves, manage the integrations, all those integrations. And we find that often generates a very profitable business, but there's an inevitable tipping point where problems start occurring. When something goes wrong, or it's a failure, what happens? Who's responsible? How do they fix it? What's the consequence of downtime and the cost of downtime to the business? And as you grow, that cost becomes more significant if you face any downtime, especially in a warehouse around picking, packing, dispatching. And that's when I guess companies perhaps start thinking about a solution like Stockley, an enterprise-wide solution that brings teams together on one platform and provides that real-time data access. Management teams, warehouse teams, customer success, sales.
What I also think that the benefit about having all data is everything in one place, right? So it's not the system. Everything is in one system and kind of easily accessible from that perspective, which I think the whole e-commerce industry is moving toward. There is like one, let's call it like that, and everything is stored in there. So I think, yeah, absolutely, I can see the benefits of having Stockley. But what I'm most interested right now is, and I'm sure that you as a young child didn't dream of being a founder of an inventory management system. So I'm interested, what is what brought you in being a co-founder of an inventory management, order management system? Because, me as a data person, I haven't dreamt that I'm going to be a data person. I always wanted to be an architect or something else. So what led you to
interesting question. 2010, I founded a digital agency. I'd owned retail businesses. I'd built up e-commerce businesses. I now founded a digital e-commerce agency developing Magento apps, that kind of thing. And we were really building up a pretty complete picture of the retail landscape as it was around 2010, where, seems crazy to say it, but the internet was still fairly immature. And one thing that didn't exist was software that joined up all the platforms seamlessly. So as a retailer, you were still having to go through custom integrations. There was a lot of misunderstanding about what that meant. And we saw a real opportunity in the market for a piece of software that provided retail with a seamless platform to sell in-store and online. And that was really the sort of the kernel of our idea. So point of sale in the store, plugging into multi-channel e-commerce with inventory management and the ability to pick, pack and dispatch those orders. And we thought, how difficult could that be? How difficult could it be? Well, it's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult. But what we did do is create an amazing, seamless order management piece of software that operated right across, the multi-channel. But then we hit the glass ceiling, if you like, when we started dealing with larger retailers who asked us, could we handle their warehouses? And we couldn't. So we kind of came to the conclusion we either partner with a warehouse company or we become warehouse management. We became warehouse management. And that in itself, like everything else we've attempted, is just a massive journey of learning. But now we've got a fantastic piece of warehouse management software that runs big, high volume, e-commerce, retail, warehousing. Our latest customer, who I think we might reference later, can take 50,000 orders in a day. So dealing with seriously high volumes, but then the flexibility of having all the product management and the order management in one system. It just really came together, not in a way that we could ever have planned when we started sort of 8 years ago, but as you pulled in certain directions by larger retailers or larger wholesalers, you go problem solving.
Yeah.
And you put the pieces together into a coherent, coordinated, complementary set of functionality that actually not just solves problems, but delivers workflows across departments, teams, so that a business can operate in a modern, retail, B2B, e-commerce, physical trading environment.
No, I just love it. I think like how you described that you identified that there is a gap in the market and then you went out there and built a solution around it. I think I can definitely relate. When we started 3 years ago and, building Loncom, there was this massive gap of operational data analysis of that systems implementation, because let's face it, mostly look at marketing and mostly look at kind of that coming in and inbound areas of it, and they are willing to spend that money, but sometimes they do forget about that infrastructure, those systems, that data flow that helps them run and basically get that package to the customer in the end. So I think it's just a beautiful. What I also want to ask you, and we are kind of founder to a founder in a way, journey is, and it's running your own business. So what I would be interested to also hear is, what are the challenges that you're currently kind of having in Stockley altogether? How do you plan to overcome them in the next couple of months?
I was actually reflecting on this question yesterday with my business partner, Dan, who is our CTO. And one of our most interesting challenges is the fact that as a business, a very innovative software business, the software is constantly evolving. And you start asking questions like, what is your position in the market? Where do you play? Who do you compete with? How do you price up your software? So that when you ask what could you describe Stockley? The first question, we start describing what we do, almost by the parts that make it up. And sometimes I think where you begin a journey, what you're trying to achieve in software, when you develop the product and you develop the features and perhaps specific features for a specific vertical like B2B or retail or fashion, whatever it might be, your product develops, but perhaps the marketing and the positioning don't maintain pace. And therefore you can almost look at your business and the way that you're describing what you do one day and think, I'm not sure that they're aligned. Yeah. And then you start wondering, well, are we warehouse management software or are we order management software? And the only way really is to go about speaking to the market. So we are going through a process at the moment of assessing our positioning, which is quite a challenging set of questions to answer coherently and derive actionable, insight from those questions to guide, real world pricing, positioning, competition, how you present yourself, how you market yourself, how your website looks, what content do you need? Because we are currently doing a manufacturing module. Well, that then puts us as an ERP system, really. If you look at what an ERP system is, we will compete with them toe to toe. But are we ready to be an ERP system that then looks at customers, say, who want to spend £500 or £1,000 a month, who might not think, I need an ERP system? Do we start turning away customers who we could, easily attract, win, and make very happy using our software because we now change our positioning and we call ourselves something different that they're probably not looking for, whereas they might be looking for warehouse management software? So I think, our biggest challenge at the moment is, who are we? Where do we want to play? What is our pricing strategy? And how do we share that message with the market in a way that makes sense to them and they can understand what we do, rather than just having a longer description of what we do, which then becomes, warehouse management, order management, product information management, manufacturing, and then you get into, well, we're just going through a phase where we're developing fashion specific features. And then do you start adding that into your description? So I think for a piece of software like Stockley, which is really broad, how do you sum that up, distill it into something that's easy for people to digest and they can understand what you do, that doesn't sell yourself short? I.e., we've got a very broad piece of software, does a lot of fantastic things for a business, something that you can use to guide the team, the vision, you can use to recruit people, and provide that kind of rallying call of, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is why you want to be part of Stockley. I think that is quite a challenge, and that's our biggest one at the moment.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. We're experiencing the same thing because, us two, we network quite a lot, and you can't explain in a networking session of a 2 hour long to every single person, all the things that you said to me over the course of time that we kind of, spoke about Stockley and everything that it does. So what is that trigger going to be that somebody's going to identify the opportunity? And then secondly, what is it the trigger going to be for that merchant to commit
surprises me
and continue using it? So I think it's always a difficult area. I always like to think, Nike just says, just do it. But if you don't know anything, Nike, everybody does, but imagine that you wouldn't know what do they do. So can we use the learning from Nike try to maybe explain something that Stockley is, and then when they go into depth, and then they learn more.
Yeah, I mean, we've attempted to sum up our view by the tagline: simplify, automate, and scale. And I think simplify can be applied to a lot of things. It could be the tech stack.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest thing to identify, with reducing the complexity around the tech stack. One point of accountability, the data flows, the data availability, accessibility, automating. So we've written our own language that sits in Stockley, which we use to automate processes like sales order processing, creating batch pick lists, purchasing, replenishing between warehouses and stores or between warehouses, through real-time customer segmentation based on behavior, not just on purchasing history, and so forth. So, the more you can automate, the less time teams are data entry, manual jobs that sat the hours in the day, and they can actually be spending their time, doing meaningful jobs that grow the business, fulfilling, packing more orders. And then, of course, the scale. You need a framework to scale into. Might not use all our features on day one, but this is a journey that we should be on together for years. And as you grow, there's more to grow into with Stockley. And I guess that's our attempt to sum up the benefits. Why, which is still in that phase of trying to work out how to distill what we do down and position ourselves so that people understand what to expect from us.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, but then leads me into the other question that I have for you is, how would you, in the simplest terms, explain the biggest selling point of Stockley, and what is that one big industry problem that Stockley solves quite easily?
Do you know what? No matter how many new features we develop, all the fancy features, everybody who buys Stockley wants real-time inventory control across all their channels.
Yeah.
And the more complex your sales channels are, the more complex that is in terms of solving it, especially if you're trying to do that with multiple pieces of software.
Yeah.
Especially if you're selling across B2B and B2C. You're a manufacturer, traditional model of B2B sales, perhaps with a field sales team and a telesales team in the office, but now you want to go direct to market, and now you want to start adding in marketplaces and what have you. Traditional ERPs, what have you, not really set up for that, so it becomes difficult. I think just the number one issue that people come to us for is their real-time inventory. And then I think the second one, if I was going to go into the second one, is how that translates into an efficient picking, packing, and dispatching process that can be automated and paperless, because paper-based processes are filled with points of failure.
Yeah.
And that is everything from time lags, data entry errors, people making simple errors because perhaps they're poor at reading or writing. Some of the real world issues that you face in a warehouse. And how do you reduce pick and pack errors to less than 1%, reduce your returns? How do you actually make a positive impact upon your productivity in terms of shipments that we do a day? So how many shipments can one packer manage in a day? How many items can we pick? How accurate are those? Are people accountable for them? Yep. Can we trace back where the errors are occurring in real time to prevent them and provide training? They are the questions we're most regularly asked.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I think from that side is from our side, when looking in kind of what Stockley does and all the capabilities and all the opportunities that you do, it's a no-brainer for me, to be honest. Reason being, first of all, very easy to use. That's my opinion. When you look at all of these legacy inventory management systems, order management, it does get difficult because they allow them a lot of customization side of things, and then it gets complex and all of this area. But even the interface of Stockley is just so easy to use. And when you open it up and when you look at the platform, it's like, well, I know where to go. I know where to see things. Or even when I don't, I would, with clicking, be able to find what I need. So I think that's number one selling point for me when it comes to Stockley. And I would say the second is, you are not that legacy system. You are reactive. You are talking to your customers. You are small, but a large enough team at the same time that you manage to care about every single customer. That's what I really love about yourself and the wider team around it. So that's, I think, the beauty of kind of, because you're just not buying Stockley, you're partnering with Stockley. And that's what I really would say, that for merchants out there looking for partners that can support them, because these things do get difficult, so to having somebody, a real person behind that phone call is something I would say an advantage of Stockley altogether on a wider and a business view.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's a partnership. We sit at the heart of a business. We take it very seriously. We want all our customers to know pretty much, their customer success team on a first name basis. Not that we want people calling up all the time, but when you need to, you should have a point of reference that's available to you, because, you need help occasionally, but when you need it, you need it. And just facing a wall of silence is frustrating for people. And that's been at the heart of the way we've built our customer success team and the way we partner with customers. Thank you. Yeah, that's very kind of you to identify that. And it does blow my mind. I was visiting a couple of prospects this week, and they're in the warehouse, sort of showing me the systems that they use. And tech as it ages starts to creak. And one of the prospects I met, took me through the fact that they can't upgrade to the latest Zebras because the app provided by their current supplier doesn't work on the new Zebras.
Yep.
Running a £7 million business with 7-year-old Zebras, sort of, what's that they do, high volume packaging, high volume shipments, low value but high volume. What is the consequence of being able to, coming into work one day and finding that your hardware just doesn't work, and now you can't pick and pack, but your supplier can't upgrade to the latest hardware because their app doesn't work. Or when they run a batch, they have to write out by hand the batch number and stick it to the trolley and then pick. If they're picking from the handheld, they have to turn off the Wi-Fi because it overloads. And you're just thinking, wow, this year you have a goal of processing 750,000 shipments, and you are just walking a tightrope on old tech.
Yeah.
And yeah, it blows my mind sometimes what people put up with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, we all know those crazy weird cases in the industry that do happen, and sometimes you think, wow, how do you run a business like that? But hey, that's what we're here to kind of help them with, either tech solutions, consulting, agencies, various others, and that's I think the beauty of the industry. Now, I think on another topic is very briefly, I just want to talk, we met a couple of months ago. Now we have a very good relationship, and I was like, yes, this is what we need to become a reseller of Stockley from our side, is because for us, our data analysis doesn't mean anything if there are not good systems to capture all of that data. That does not happen. So we need those good systems that are going to support us clients to do our service. Without people like you out there supplying those systems, is just going to be nothing. And then I think I met you, your networking mindset. We're pretty much similar on that side, on how we're building our businesses, how we approach the industry, how we network, how we share ideas, and so on. And from our side, again, a no-brainer to partner up with Stockley and bring it out to our merchants, our new potential clients, our current clients, and so on. So I want to briefly talk about the partnership that we have created between Stockley and Loncom. And in your opinion, what does the future look like for us to partnering up?
Very bright, Stefan. Very bright. Yeah.
Good to hear. Happy to hear that. Any other answers with
yeah.
You know?
I think there's two things that I would shine a light on. Firstly, it's rare to meet someone who is a data scientist, but with a real understanding for a vertical like fashion, retail. That was the first thing that really captured my interest when we started talking. I thought, wow, here's a guy who understands the commercial side and the analytics side, which I found very interesting. I think that's rare. And the second thing is, the more we've got to know each other, we have come to understand, like the depth of your skill set, which means that having you as a partner, for example, this week, we need an integration done. Bang. Stefan, you're our first choice to work with the movement of data from Stockley to a third-party platform. It's in safe hands. Yeah. The other side of that, obviously, is the data within Stockley. How do we use that? So, you're not just a partner in the sense of working with you with our customers. You're actually a partner working with our team on the data in Stockley, and I think that says everything you need to know about how we rate you as a partner and the skill set you bring.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate that. You're gonna make me cry here. This is a very, very, very nice bit, buddy. I appreciate that. I think from our side is, and I'm sure that everybody listening to this in the industry will know, we do refer a lot of work to each other, especially when we don't know somebody. And I always like people that I can, trust, and that's built with time, of course. And I think we're already there, far from it, far into it. I'd rather say sorry. But I think for me, a client looking for inventory management or the management, Stockley is in mind, nobody else, right? So that's what we kind of want to get to. And although we all find out, where do we excel, where do we not excel, I think from that business side of things, commercial side of things, referring to Stockley is a no-brainer. But then also from the second side, as you mentioned, is we talk quite a lot. We look at opportunities and we try to help each other, because the more, I always like to say is amateurs compete, professionals create. And that's what my mindset is when it comes to the partner program that we are building here in Loncom. So no, I think the future is very bright. I can definitely confirm that.
I like that, Stefan.
Yeah,
I might use that.
Yeah. Well, feel free, but reference me down. Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, look, I can't remember who gave me that line.
I've heard it in the networking. And I have no idea it, so I can't claim it fully. But hey, I'm finding it out. You finished this amazing conversation. Thank you very much, Iain, for that. I have 3 quick questions for you. So quick answers. The first one is, if you had a magic wand, what would you change?
It seems like maybe a little highbrow, maybe, but I can't go past world peace at the moment. It just seems to be very sort of troubled times.
I like it. I like the answer. Quick one also. Coolest project you ever worked on?
I think the coolest project we are working on now is a super hip London fashion brand called Cortez. They're a new client of ours, and they are running a super hip, fast-growing fashion brand. And like I said, the other week I was in their office, and they had taken 50,000 orders in the morning. They're a very exciting, lovely bunch of people, and we're really enjoying being part of that journey.
Cool, very happy to hear. And then the last one, it's what's going to be the theme of this partnership conversation is what's hot and what's not.
What's hot? I don't think multi-channel, the proliferation seems to have slowed down, I feel like. There was a lot of little extra platforms that were making an appearance. Conversations around those seem to have slowed down noticeably. What's hot? Data analysis. How do I get my data out? That's a conversation that we are having continuously at the moment as people recognize the value of data and realize the complexity in extracting meaningful data and insight from disparate systems poorly joined together.
The answer. Now, Iain, thank you one more time. And yeah, thank you very much for your time to make this first partnership webinar happen. Thank you.
Thanks, Stefan. It's been a real pleasure.